Hi guys, Chris here with the BT7. This is from Beelink. This is a mini PC that I picked up from GearBest. Now this one interested me because it's got an Atom X7 8700, 4GB of RAM, and an actual full SSD in there. It has got 128GB SSD, this one. A gigabit Ethernet port. But the thing that interested me, this model, unlike the Voyo version 3 that I reviewed, which has similar specs, this one apparently has a large copper heatsink on it and a tiny little fan to keep it cool. Now I ran into problems with the Voyo version 3, the model that I reviewed. It actually had some thermal throttling, got just too hot when you started to game on it or push it too hard. Hopefully this little mini PC isn't going to run into that problem. As you can see there along there, just a few specs of it. It also has 3 USB 3 ports on there, which is good. And here you see some of the specs there outlined, and just outlining again the layout of the mini PC there. So it's got a full-sized HDMI and also has a full-sized SD card slot, which is something we don't normally really see. Normally they only put micro SD card slots on there. So let's have a look in the box. Okay, so we have a few operations manual. That's just your basic things. Okay, where everything is. Oh, look at this. Drivers. Okay, it's very rare to see that. That is good that they have included this, a Windows 10 64-bit drivers. Have a look and see. Here we have the unit. Okay, so it's got a couple of nice, well, 4 nice rubber feet there. You see the input is DC 12 volts, 2 amps. Front here we have what looks to be a status LED and some vents along the side. And the back here is where all the ports are. So we've got a 3.5mm headphone jack with microphone support. You can tell there. There's our gigabit Ethernet port, full-size HDMI, USB 3 port, and the 12 volts in there. This, of course, is the wireless antenna. Power on button, another 2 USB 3 ports, and the full-size SD card slot. I'm so used to saying micro SD. Build of it feels quite solid. Definitely well put together. And let's have a look and see what else we have in the box. So they have included a bracket, which is really good. So your VESA mount, you can mount this on the back of a TV or a monitor to really hide it away. That is good. And I can see there too that the power adapter is European, which is just what I need, of course, living in Europe. And that is rated to 12 volts, 2 amps. And they have some screws here to mount it, I guess, with that bracket. Here we have a HDMI, short HDMI cable. And for some reason, another HDMI cable. For some reason, I have 2 of them in there. Okay, one's a very short one and one's slightly longer. As you can see, that's about double the length. And nothing else there. Alright, so I'm going to connect this up to my capture card, and that'll be capturing in 1080p 60 frames per second. And we'll just have a look at the device manager, the SSD that is in here, and a few other things. Hopefully Windows is also going to be activated. I'm pretty sure we shouldn't have any trouble. So the BT7 fired up really quick, booted up nice and fast. Quite fast for an Atom device. So you can see here we have German, English, Spanish, Russian, and Chinese for the install languages. I'm just going to go ahead now and set it all up. So Windows took a little bit to set itself up, but I just got into Windows here now, and I've noticed that the fan noise is definitely noticeable. It's constant. You can just hear the fan. It's a constant hum there in the background. So I'm just going to have a look now at the disk drive and see what we have set up here. Okay, that is interesting. I did not expect this. I thought it would just be one single drive there, but it looks like they have partitioned the SSD into 2 separate 64GB drives there, so 2 separate drives. So let's have a look at system and see if Windows has activated. I've plugged in my network cable. So Windows has activated, that is good to see. You can see that it's definitely a 64-bit operating system, so it's using the whole 4 gigabytes of RAM, and the Atom X7. So have a look now under Device Manager and check out the wireless first. So we have a Broadcom that's handling wireless AC, and there is the Realtek, which is the Gigabyte Ethernet controller. And the disk drives, Power SSD Toshiba. That is an eMMC. Okay, so that's a little confusing. What they've done is they've used the total of both of the drives as the storage capacity, but really it seems, okay, so the operating system must be running off the eMMC, and they're using then a 64 gigabyte SSD as the secondary drive, which is that D drive there. So I didn't actually expect that. I'm not sure. Power SSD, I haven't actually heard of this before. So it's an interesting way they've set things up there. Alright, so that is just the unboxing there and the first initial look at the unit. I will have more up and coming videos on this particular model if you're interested in those. Keep an eye on the playlist there, because I will be posting a full review of this tiny little Beelink BT7 just to see if it's going to have any thermal throttling or not, how it performs, and I will check out the speeds of those two drives, which is, yeah, that's interesting. I definitely was not expecting that. I guess I was fooled a little. And it looks like they are running that operating system then off the Toshiba drive. So that is going to affect maybe overall performance, but I guess with the extra drive there you can install games and applications you want to run faster off the D drive there. Thank you so much for watching this video. Hopefully I will see you back with the future videos on the BT7. Bye for now.